Hello traders, and welcome to StockGoodies Chart School. Trix is a momentum oscillator that displays the percent rate of change of a triple exponentially smooth moving average. It was developed in the early 1980s by Jack Hudson, an editor for technical analysis of Stocks and Commodities magazine. With its triple smoothing, Trix is designed to filter out insignificant price movements. Chartists can use Trix to generate signals similar to the MACD and the PPO. A signal line can be applied to look for signal line crossovers. Bullish and bearish divergences can be used to anticipate trend reversals, and centerline crossovers will show above zero as positive or bullish and below zero as bearish. Now let's go ahead and load up the Trix on this chart for SIRI here at StockCharts.com. If you scroll down to the bottom into the chart attributes area, go all the way down to the bottom, click in indicators. You'll have to scroll to the bottom here to get the Trix. The standard setting for the Trix is 15 for the triple smooth EMA and 9 for the signal line. Chartists looking for more sensitivity should try a shorter time frame, which would be 5,9. And for long-term traders, a 45,9 works good on daily, weekly, and monthly charts. Okay, so let's go ahead and load up the MACD also at a standard setting of 1226, and the signal line again is at 9. Go ahead and click Update. Now the biggest difference between Trix and MACD is it is a much smoother line. See how jagged and how many crossovers there are right here, and just generally smoother. The only problem is it crosses. The signal line crosses come a little bit later on the Trix. So what you're looking for here, the signals come with signal line crossovers. That's where the Trix crosses either down or up through the red signal line. The other type of signal is center line crossovers. Just like the MACD, the center line is set at 0, and anything above 0 is bullish, and anything below 0 is bearish. You can also look for bullish and bearish divergences. Now when a stock is in a serious uptrend like GRPN is, the Trix will remain above the 0 line. And if you're looking for an entry, look for these signal line crossovers where Trix drops below the signal line, then crosses back up through it. The stock goes up a little. That one didn't work so great. Let's try this one. Okay, that one works a lot better, from $7 to $8. Here's another one that works great. Trix drops below the signal line, crosses back up through it. Stock runs from 8 to about 950. And when a stock is in a serious downtrend, Trix will remain below the 0 line in bearish territory. Now, one of the first signals this chart is giving is right here when Trix drops below the 0 line. That is bearish and the stock goes down. If you are looking to short stocks, signals come when Trix crosses down through the signal line after being above it. Stock goes down. Trix is above signal line right here, drops below it. Stock goes down. Here's a real good one right here. Right about here, Trix crosses down through the signal line. Stock drops from about $5.50 to under $5. Now let's go ahead and look at the signals that the Trix gave on this chart for Siri here. Let's look at the positive ones first. Okay, right here, Trix crossed up through the signal line. Not much happened right there. The volume was terrible. Worst on this chart almost. But then right here, Trix crosses up through the 0 line. And on that day, you get huge volume on a breakout into blue sky territory above all resistance. Okay, so that is very bullish. That's exactly what you want to see. This is the biggest volume on the chart. so far as it breaks out into blue sky territory. So that's very bullish. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this crossover right here. Trix crosses up through the signal line right there. A day or two later, I won't draw a line there, but a day or two later, it crosses up through zero, and the stock goes up a lot. Okay, it breaks out into blue sky territory right about here on pretty good volume. One of the bigger green volume days in a while, and the stock, runs from 350 to 380. So that one worked pretty good. Now let's look at the bearish signals Trix has given here. The first one came right there when Trix crossed down through its signal line. And stock went down a little. Okay, but it's still positive. It's above zero all the way until right here where Trix crosses down through zero and the stock goes down. Okay, then it gets a nice buy, breaks out into blue sky. Then here comes the top. Here's your reversal candle right here. A few long upper wicks in this area. Okay, and here is where Trix starts turning down and then crosses down through the signal line, and the stock does go down. Here's another bearish signal where it crosses down through the zero line, and again the stock goes down. It drops below zero. There's the buy right there. Breaking out into blue sky territory is very bullish. I would have liked to have seen more volume on this. Okay, but one thing I notice is a bearish divergence here. This high here on Trix relates to this point on the chart. This high here on Trix is lower than this high here, yet the stock is going up. So that's a bearish divergence. It looks like there might be a bearish crossover happening here, but actually the chart pattern looks pretty bullish. The only problem is volume has fallen off to the lowest point in months, and in order for it to break out into blue sky territory above this point right here, it's going to need pretty good volume in this zone or this zone here. Now let's take a look at the bullish signals that Trix gave on this chart for ARRY. The first one comes when Trix drops below the zero line just briefly and then crosses back up through it right here. That was on one of the biggest volume days so far on this chart, and the stock breaks out into blue sky territory above all levels of resistance so far on this time period of the chart. Stock goes up. Right here, Trix drops below the signal line briefly and then crosses back up through it. And that was on a day of very good volume. Again, as the stock price breaks out into blue sky territory above all resistance on the chart. Again, here is a kiss up off of the signal line where it comes down, touches the signal line, and then goes up. Again, increasing volume sends it up to the top where it shows a number of tall upper wicks and a reversal type situation here. It was probably very overbought at this point because the chart went too vertical. Okay, the next buy signal comes right here where Trix is below zero and below the signal line and crosses up through the signal line. The stock does go up. Here is the point where Trix crosses up through the zero line. A couple of days before the big gap up on either good news or good earnings, and the stock gaps up from about $5.50 to over $6 at the open that day. Okay, so this was early warning that the stock might be going up again. Breaking above this level of resistance was bullish right here on good volume, and then confirmation that it was a bullish move when Trix crossed up through the zero line just before the good news or the good earnings that gapped it up and sent it running. Now let's talk about the bearish signals that the Trix gave on this chart. Okay, first of all, it's in positive territory right here. Right here is the top. Look at all these tall upper wicks. This is a double top chart pattern shaped like an M, and when it breaks below support right there, it breaks down. The Trix gives the sell signal right here when it crosses down through the signal line. That was right before the break of support. So that was early warning that the stock might be going down. Okay, then the Trix goes down towards the zero line Right here it crosses down through the zero line, which is also very bearish, and the stock goes down.